here we go. Thank you for coming live or rewatching this video. We are going to be talking about the rising signs in astrology tonight. Also the descendants, so the ascendants and the descendants. I'm looking through my books here, and yeah, I think it would be good to talk about both, but mainly the rising sign. Some people even think that this sign, these signs are as important or even more important than reading your sun sign. As you remember from previous episodes of this, we talked about the sun sign, and that is like your core values, the core of your personality. The moon signs are more like internal, emotional dealings and things like that. And then the rising sign is like how you put yourself out into the world, how people see you. They can call it the mask, that type of thing. So this is what people see, what you put out there, what you hope they see, that type of stuff. So it's pretty interesting. I am a Pisces sun, and so all my life I've followed everything Pisces, Pisces, Pisces. And now reading more about my ascendant, the rising sign, which is Scorpio for me, makes things a lot more clear. So digging into astrology, when you go a little deeper, looking into all of the signs and what they mean for you on your birth chart, and of course, not even just the sun, moon, and rising, but what all the planets in the houses mean, it gets pretty crazy and pretty interesting, if you ask me. So, tonight, let's see, earrings. I have my green aventurine. I always get it wrong saying it, tongue-tied. You can buy these online. I'm trying to add stuff to my Facebook marketplace, I guess they call it. I don't know, but I'm not really feeling it. So the online version, website, High Fives, Good Vibes, go there, because everything on there is me putting it on there, and it's awesome. Go buy it. Also, the candles, chakra candles I have tonight, again, I'm burning the third chakra. It's wonderful. I don't have my labels here yet. Boo-hoo. So, all right. Just going to dive in here and start reading. Here we go. The ascendant and descendant. They represent the horizon on your birth chart. So again, if you downloaded your birth chart, that would be that lovely straight line coming through. And actually, I got a picture here. Why don't I pull it up for you? Check that baby out. Now on your birth chart, it's not going to be oval. It's going to be a circle, but the ascendant starts at your first house, whoosh, and the descendant is over here opposite to that. All right. They form an axis across your chart, linking our conscious sense of ourselves, the ascendant, with its opposite and complementary energy, the descendant, which we seek and encounter throughout our relationships. The ascendant, or the rising sign, is symbolic of the birth moment, your entry into this world. It shows the conditions and circumstances around you at the time, or at least how you sense them to be. Interesting. This imprints itself and sets the pattern for all new beginnings, starting a new day, a new project, or a new phase of life. How you meet and greet and come across to others, how you answer when someone engages you, how you want others to see you, and how they do see you, and your sense of how things are out there in the world and how you can adjust to it. So we can think of the ascendant here, as I was talking about our mask. It is our persona that we put out to the world. It is the atmosphere that we create. We might think of it in terms of persona, a mask we wear, or the way we dress and present ourselves. As the cusp or beginning of the first house, it is part of our store window, or what is most on display to others. Everything we experience is filtered through the ascendant, so it gives us important clues about our basic outlook on life. The descendant, this is the point exactly opposite of the ascendant, immediately implying an opposing but complementary energy via an opposing pair of signs. The two ends of the axis are linked as one horizon stretching from east to west across the chart. If the ascendant is me, then the descendant is not me. A set of traits and behavior patterns we do not associate with ourselves, figuring they must belong to somebody else. You will often be attracted to other people because they reflect these qualities of your descendant sign and the planets close to that point. I did not know that. Relationships. The descendant is the part of you that interfaces with others directly in one-to-one encounters of personal and professional partnerships. The descendant and the seventh house describe relationships as a learning curve, pivoting on opposition, difference, and the courage to recognize that the traits we thought belonged to those other people out there really belong to us or ones we need to develop. It can therefore describe characteristics that we both dislike and admire in others. In the thrust and parry of relationships, we slowly develop the skills and qualities of the descendant sign and planets. That's new to me, so that's cool. All right, so let's run through the ascendants first throughout the signs, and then we'll go through the descendants. Okay. See what I need. I already said all that. All right, Aries rising. If you are an Aries rising, you are go-getters and focused on their own needs, growth, and development through life. They can be very physical in love and sex and have a tendency towards athleticism. Physically, they tend to be well-proportioned with developed muscles. The Taurus rising. People with Taurus rising may be very physically attractive, given that Venus, the planet of beauty, rules this sign. They tend to be on the shorter side with a compact body and may tend to move slowly and carefully in life, making decisions only after much consideration. Gemini rising. They may need to talk. They also tend to do everything in twos, in keeping with their symbol of the twins. They're likely to have a best friend or a mate at all times or simply rely on a large social network. Physically, they tend to be slim, no matter how tall they are. Cancer rising, 1 second, feeling parched. Cancer rising people tend to have fuller, rounder faces and larger hips and thighs. They are often known as nurturers, and they may need firmer personal boundaries. Otherwise, they might end up caring for the entire world. Slow down, Cancer risings. They may also be known for their homemaking talents and abilities in the kitchen, making their homes popular gathering spots. For those Leo rising people often have the physical appearance of a lion in some way. Long, lion-like hair, strong bodies, or perhaps even cat-like eyes. They're known for their outgoing nature and ability to tell great stories. They may attract many friends throughout life. This rising sign demands a lot of attention, so they're natural actors or performers. I'm going to have to look into that, see who I know who are some Leo risings. Virgo rising. Virgo rising can come across as somewhat over-organized and a little guarded or held in. These natives can be hard to get to know than any other signs. Those with Virgo rising may feel the need to compartmentalize their friends, homes, or work responsibilities in order to stay on top of them and keep them all under control. They may also come across as controlling to others. Physically, they tend to be and look healthy and may be attracted to all the new health fads. Libra rising. People with Libra rising are often considered physically appealing thanks to Libra's ruling planet, Venus, planet of beauty. They're also known for taking great pride in their appearance, as well as their appreciation for beauty and art in their homes and businesses. They are naturally social, often having large numbers of friends and a full social calendar. Challenges may include indecisiveness from time to time. Scorpio rising. This is technically my sign. I am right on the cusp of Scorpio rising, Sagittarius rising, but technically I'm Scorpio rising, but I also can relate to the Sagittarius rising. So I feel like I definitely have a mixture of these going on. We'll read about it. Scorpio rising. People with Scorpio rising define the tall, dark, and gorgeous moniker. Thank you. They tend to have a brooding quality and may prefer a darker palette in clothing, makeup, and accessories. Black tonight. Physically, they tend to be a medium height and build, often with darker hair, sometimes dyed, and eyes. They may seem a little scary sometimes, hard to know, and at times harsh or punishing with their wit or sense of humor. And side note, yeah, I can definitely relate to that. After some time graduating, I had Facebook friends, you know, people from school, friend request me, and we got to talking, and a handful of people were like, "You intimidated me in high school. I didn't want to talk to you. You were so intimidating." It's like, me? I'm like the goofiest, awkward person I know. How could you be intimidated by me? Apparently, my Scorpio rising was putting on that intimidating face, I guess. I don't know. Sagittarius rising. People with Sagittarius rising are seen as the ever-cheerful, jocular ones in life, tending to be physically tall and athletic with an open, honest demeanor. People of more serious signs may see them as childlike or underdeveloped, and they may exhibit a strong sense of play at any age. Their honesty may often step on the toes of others who may not always want the full, unadulterated truth. So yes, I can relate to this sign as well. Okay, Capricorn rising. Those with Capricorn rising often exhibit a staunch or serious demeanor and tend to be seen by others as traditional and or conservative. They are usually of medium height and build with a naturally serious expression, even when their face is at rest. They are also perceived as leaders even while young, since they always seem older than what they actually are. Couple more. Aquarius rising often have large, wide open eyes. They tend, oh my gosh, it's true. My husband is an Aquarius rising, and we always make jokes about how big his eyes are. They tend to be on the taller side and of a slim to medium build. People generally see them as studious and even scientific, with a brainy side to their nature. These people may often seem like they're from the future with all their progressive ideas and interesting hobbies. A lifelong desire to learn is an integral part of their makeup. That for sure is true. And lastly, Pisces rising. People with Pisces rising tend to have softer bodies and features. They're generally on the shorter side with soft eyes. Considered the most sensitive of all the rising signs, Pisces rising may encounter and struggle with addictions in order to manage the pain and suffering that they pick up from their environment. Very empathetic. Boundaries and stress reduction are important to these natives. So there you go. Run through of all the ascendants. Now we are going to do the opposite side, which are the descendants. So by contrast, the descendant is the point at the far right of the chart, indicating the 7th house cusp. This symbolizes our relationships, how important they are to us, and the kinds of people we attract through our lifetimes. This should be interesting. Review this list of descendants to learn what yours means and how to incorporate it with the other planetary energies in your chart. Aries descendant. With Aries placed on the 7th house cusp, there is a tendency to put yourself first in relationships. You may be very driven to have a partner in your life and feel very unhappy when you don't have a significant other. Relationships can be very physical with this placement and even a little competitive. Taurus descending. So if I am Scorpio rising, my opposite would be Taurus. So this is me with a little bit of the Gemini descending. Yeah, we'll read. With Taurus descending, you may need your relations and significant others to enjoy staying in and creating a comfy atmosphere at home. Since security and stability are two of your key words, you need your partners to be supportive and most of all committed in some fashion. If marriage is on your mind, you need a partner who sees eye to eye with your viewpoint. Yeah, okay. Gemini descending, so a little bit of me here too. With Gemini on the 7th house cusp, you may experience at least 2 very significant relationships or marriages in your life, with the first one acting like a test run for the second, which tends to run a lot more smoothly. Hallelujah. With this placement, it's sometimes hard to stay focused on one partnership or one person at a time. Cancer descendant. With Cancer on the descendant, the relationships become very homey, and you may even find success living together before marriage. If you have that in mind, being able to nurture your partner is very important to you through cooking, massaging, and building a life together. Leo descending. With Leo descending, natives may have romantic partnerships that arise from friendships. These natives can stay friends with their exes long after other signs have hit the road. With Leo on your descendant, you need lots of attention and romance, even showy gestures that reinforce how important you are and to let you know where you stand. Sex is very important to these natives as well, for your info. Virgo descending. With Virgo on the 7th house cusp, romantic relationships assume an important role in building security in life. Partners may be chosen for reasons that make rational sense rather than for purely romantic reasons, and those partners may be kept very separate from friendships and work relationships. Libra descending. Libra on the descendant makes for a very happy and balanced relationship, given that Libra needs fairness and equality. But more than any other sign, Libra needs partnerships in order to feel whole. These natives should take great care to not let decisions about partners and relationships be based on neediness. Libra, we are getting to the end. Scorpio descending. With Scorpio placed on the 7th house cusp, you require a very deep and romantic connection with your mate if you are to be happy. Scorpio has strong sexual appetites, and these natives need both sex and romance in their lives. The challenge for Scorpio is to be less reticent, I don't know that word, and secretive, and be a better communicator about needs and desires. Sagittarius descending. With Sagittarius on the 7th house cusp, relationships need a lot of open space, freedom, and honesty. Relationships may be more experimental and not have a traditional structure, but may be shaped according to what both parties want and need. The main challenge for Sagittarius is learning to be patient with your significant other and avoid stepping on his or her shoes, toes, feet. Capricorn descendant. With Capricorn on the descendant, relationships take a one-on-one cast with a goal of long-term romance or marriage. With Saturn ruling Capricorn, this placement also results in serious relationships and a marriage coming a little later in life. 2 more to go. Aquarius descending. Aquarius descendants may have very modern arrangements in love and feel less obliged to conform to any norm. They may even choose to have open relationships or polyamorous unions, which parentheses here, relationships with more than one person at a time. No, thank you. Whatever the case, it's important for them to establish a core foundation of friendships from which to build the rest of their union. Lastly, Pisces. With Pisces on the 7th house cusp, relationships take on an incredibly dreamy romantic quality. These natives are always on the search for true soulmates, not just your average romantic partner. Their challenge lies in establishing and maintaining healthy boundaries, since their tendency may be to completely melt into the other person. And that is the ascendant and descendant. I hope all that information was interesting to you. Please take a look at your birth chart. If you have any questions for me, I will gladly look back over these and answer anything I can, help you point you in the right direction for any other resources that you'd like. And next week we talk about how these signs interact, specifically within the family. So I will be talking about my family because that's my experience and I can talk about it easily. And how we parent as a mother, how we parent as a father. It's not just based on your sun sign, so we'll get into that stuff. So thank you again for watching, and this is, again, great practice for me, getting my jitters out, getting this confidence building back up, and yeah, see you next week. Thank you.